Remember that night that Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey both went to go visit Tay Kinney right when that window opened up? Well, sounds like some stuff went down. And we're going to talk about it and talk about why it's a positive. We'll tell you why on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI. Joined, as always, by Carson, Nash. Carson, it's a Friday. It's a Friday. We're feeling good. This is a really high vibe Friday today. Do you agree with that? Are you in agreement with that statement?
Heck yeah. I feel like I've won the week this week. I feel like I've earned my weekend so far, worked hard this week. So a couple more hours and I get to, enjoy some cold Sprites like we love to do over here at the Wildcats Today Podcast.
Precisely. And as a podcast, we have some very big news coming soon. Not today, but some substantial sized. We're talking like Big Mac sized news. Like, this is big news. So that is going to be coming to y'all here soon. So be prepared for that.
Get excited.
Get excited for the future of this podcast. And hey, while we're talking about big news, it'd be big news for us if you guys would go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It would help us out, helps the show out a ton. So please do that. If you're here watching and not hitting the subscribe button, come on, hit it. It's a button and it, doesn't hurt nothing. You press the button and then these two morons pop up on your YouTube feed here and there. So press that for us. We'd appreciate it. But Carson, so the backstory here, I guess, that window to be able to go visit recruits opened back up at midnight. Whenever it was whatever night he went to go visit him. I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That's Sunday.
Yeah.
But so I guess Coach Pope and Coach Kelsey set up visits to go see Tay Kinney at I assume his place in Newport. It was the story. And Pope had the first window right at midnight, and they were supposed to get, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. And then Kelsey was supposed to come in next. I guess Pope was running a little bit late, and Kelsey went ahead and went in there. And I guess what the argument was over, if I've read this correctly, is that when Pope got there and Kelsey was in there, he was arguing that Kelsey went in there before the window started. And obviously there was no fist fight or anything crazy like that, and we would not condone that if there was. But it does seem like there was some back and forth, some legitimate, back and forth strong words between Coach Pope and Coach Pat Kelsey. And Carson, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. Because this is a rivalry. These things happen in rivalries. So I love it, Carson. What did you hear anything different story-wise, and what are your thoughts on it?
No, that's about what I heard. And, I heard at the end they kind of hugged it out at the end. But, I love it as well because I think we all know that Pat Kelsey has a fiery personality, and we kind of see that on the court and everything. And, I know Pope and Kelsey have respect for each other, but I love seeing that fiery side of Pope because I don't think we get to see that all that often. So to hear about it is awesome. And, we needed to make this rivalry a bigger thing than it has been the past couple of years. And I think this is partly doing that. It's boosting it up. It's making it more fiery. I know they still have immense amount of respect for each other, but now there's this altercation going on. So it's going to be super exciting to see what happens at the Yum Center on November 11th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, the reality here of this situation to me is we don't want them to get in a fist fight. We don't want to see that. We don't want that. What we want is a fire back in this rivalry. You know what I mean? I appreciate their mutual respect for one another. That's great. That's a good thing. I respect Pat Kelsey. And I think Louisville fans respect Mark Pope. I feel confident that that's a both way. So Louisville fans, if you're here, let us know. Do you have a high level of respect for Mark Pope? Maybe not even, I'm not even saying as a coach. I'm saying more as a human being. I think obviously as a coach a little bit too, but and this rivalry, it just, I think that one of its peaks, and I mean, we can only speak on what we've been hearing alive for, but was obviously Coach P and Coach Calipari. They don't like each other at all. At all. They do not like each other.
They still don't.
And now, I think they have respect for one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that was clear when they played Arkansas versus St. John's in the that was the first game, wasn't it?
I think it was the Sweet 16.
Oh yeah. Was it?
Pretty sure. DJ Wagner choked at the end.
No, because they lost St. John's. They beat St. John's in make the Elite Eight.
You're right. It
was the second.
They lost to Texas Tech. That's why I'm getting confused.
It had to have been the second game though, because
it was the second game because we made it farther than they did. So yeah, I was wrong.
Well, we made it farther than St. John's because Arkansas won that game. Arkansas lost in the Sweet 16.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because I remember BYU, us, and Arkansas all made it to the Sweet 16. So that was the big joke. And we all lost in the Sweet 16. So it was just like, everybody made the same spot.
Yeah.
But besides the point being of all that is that they didn't like each other. But they respected each other. And that's great. You know what I mean? I know that Matt Jones likes to joke with Coach Pope about it. And we even heard the Field of 68, which is what we're talking about here in a minute. They were joking with Coach Pope about it, which is funny because that joking came after this altercation.
Mm-hmm.
But about they're too nice to each other. And I agree. I'm not asking for name calling or punches to be thrown, but I mean, just a little bit of fire back in this rivalry is a good thing. And that's why I'm excited about this. We're not asking, once again, we're not condoning fist fighting or any of that. We're just saying we want fire back in this rivalry. And I think this is the first step in that direction, Carson.
Yeah, I agree. I have a funny question. What would the lines be on a fight between Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey?
Okay. That's a good question. This is hypothetical, but we're going to have the conversation because it's Friday and we tend to do things like this on Fridays. So, Mark Pope is 6'10". Maybe old age has him at 6'9". Well, not old age. Please don't take that offensively. Mark Pope is like what? Like, what is he, like 40? Is he even 40?
He's 53.
He's 53?
Yeah.
Good night.
Mm-hmm.
He
doesn't look it at all.
I would have said he was like 45, 46. I've never known his age. It's funny. Okay, so I think he's probably shrunk an inch as getting a little bit older because he looks. You see the 6'10" players, he looks about an inch taller a lot. So I think he's 6'9" now. And Pat Kelsey, all due respect to our short kings out there. Shout out Cameron Coulter.
Cameron Boffman.
That works. Pat Kelsey's not a tall guy. Now, Pat Kelsey, I think, would have more of the kind of Scrappy Doo. You know Scrappy Doo from Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
I think he would have some fire in him like that. Like, let me at him. I think he'd have some fire to him. But you got to look at the UFC, Carson. I mean, Mark Pope's got that reach, man, by a significant margin. I don't think Kelsey would be able to touch him would be the issue. So
Mark Pope can extend his hand and put it on Pat Kelsey's head and just make sure he can't get close to him.
Let me at him. That's the Scrappy Doo. I gotta go.
He's just throwing punches.
Yeah, but no, and we're making fun. This is a respectful fun make of Pat Kelsey. I want to add that I like Pat Kelsey for the record. I just don't. People. You never know. Got to be safe nowadays. Can't be mean to people. But I think it'd be Mark Pope like minus 600 would be the money line.
I think so too.
And I mean, this isn't even like if they were both the same height, knowing their personalities, I would probably lean Pat Kelsey being there. Yeah. It's just I don't think the guy can get to him. I'll just be honest with you. No disrespect there. So what about you? How would you if you were a line capper, what would you do there?
Yeah, I mean, just based off the reach, the size, the weight differential, I'd probably go minus 800, probably. But yeah, I mean, I just think it would get ugly quick with the reach in there.
Don't disagree. But so the point of all this, and I want to hear. I assume we'll have some Louisville fans in here for this. We often do, but I want to hear the Louisville perspective of this and just thoughts. Like, do y'all like this for the rivalry? Kentucky fans, put the same down in the comments. Do we like this? Is this good for the rivalry? How do we feel about this, yelling altercation between Coach Pope and Coach Kelsey at Tay Kinney's house, which it sounds like might have been Tay Kinney might have said, oh, I don't know. I have a feeling he's going to Kansas or Arkansas.
Yeah, no, he's going to Kansas, and I've heard he's been offered a substantial number to go there. So I'm putting in my prediction as Kansas
7 figures. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to Kansas. I'm putting in my prediction right now. He's a lock. He's committing there whenever he commits.
I don't disagree with you at all. All right, let's get into this. Talk about what the Field of 68 had to say. So the Field of 68 was in town, which was pretty cool to see. They got some cool access. They got to go to practice. And, I mean, it was great. They talked to a lot of the players. They obviously talked to Coach Pope. Carson, what was your number one takeaway from everything that was said during that whole show with the Field of 68 about Kentucky?
I think for me, it was when they asked Otega about the player that he thought surprised people. And he said Jaylen Lowe. And everyone heard about him over the summer. And Otega said this is his team, basically. Like, he's winning all the one-on-one drills, of course, because Otega's out right now. He said that once he gets back, he'll probably start winning them. But it was really good to hear all these players' point of views on Jaylen Lowe and how good he's been over the summer and how his communication has taken a step up. He's a real leader on this team. He's great in the locker room. Everyone loves him. So I think he can be our real leader for this team and run the show as the point guard and be awesome, according to the words of Field of 68 and Otega and his other teammates. So I'm really excited for Lowe, and that only gets me more excited.
Yeah, I am. It's always great, I think, when we hear positives about Jaylen Lowe, because we've talked about this a lot. He's the X factor, I think, for this basketball team. And the reason that I believe that to be the case is we know what you're getting in Otega. I think a lot of people, when they hear X factor, they're like, well, Otega's X factor. We know what we got in Otega. He can only get better. He's not going to get worse. He can only take his game to another level. So the X factor to me is good play out of Jaylen Lowe. And the first thing I always say about this is Mark Pope has gotten up his behind about not freaking taking crazy shots and doing, you know what I mean? He's on him to not do that. And, you know, obviously last year he had to do that at Pitt to make it look like they had some sort of offense. So I think that Jaylen Lowe being really good means Kentucky's really good. I think. Well, let me give me another shot at that. Kentucky's is a top 10 basketball team. If Jaylen Lowe is an All-American, I'll say second or first team SEC player to second or first team All-American type of guy, this is, I think, a top 3 team in college basketball. That's how important he is. I think that he is one of, if not the most important players on this team. He is, because he has so much potential and room to be better than what he was last year. And I think he's going to have a special season. I really do. I think that he's going to put up really impressive numbers this year. And I'm excited. But, yeah, I think he's the X factor of this basketball team. If we're going to be really good, he's got to be really good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. He steers the ship. He's the lead man. He runs the offense. And so the words that his teammates give about him is very, very good for us. I'm super excited about Lowe this season. And, you know, he got over that 70% mark in practice. So it looks to be that he's taking better shots. He's feeling the offense. He's getting better with Mark Pope's system. So I'm really excited to see Jaylen Lowe flourish in this system.
The other player that got a shout out, and that shout out was from, hold on, let's see if we can get. There he is right there. There he is.
It's Pat Kelsey.
Yeah. There's Pat Kelsey. Scrappy-doo. But
there's Peyton Siva grabbing him.
That's right. But you know, Colin Chandler and Cam Williams both sat down. And Colin Chandler said, yeah, in practice of the day. And it sounds like this wasn't like a shooting drill, because a lot of
there's videos.
Yeah. Cam Williams in practice, like with hands and face in an offensive thing, made 10 threes in a row. Cam Williams, people, and I wrote, and Carson, and we're going to have to keep saying it. We have been on him for a very, very long time. But this kid, people are buying into it. They're late because we've been here for 6 months. I mean, I don't even know if he's been here 6 months, but since he got here, we've been on him. And people are buying in. Cam Williams, the hype is real. He's going to be special. He's a lights-out shooter. But what was so impressive to me was he was creating his own shot. We know how good he was in the catch and shoot, Carson. I mean, you talked about that. Wasn't he the
99th percentile in shots 25 feet away from the rim and plus?
Yeah.
So that, I mean, he's a deep range dead eye.
Yeah.
And so that can relate to being a high percentage volume shooter.
Yeah. And I remember us talking about the stat too. He was elite in catch and shoot situations. And if he can keep getting better at creating his own shot, because that's what, I like to think Brea was pretty he did a lot of impressive things last year to get open look from three. Mm-hmm. Is he the best dribbler to create his own shot? And that's not the easiest thing to do. Dribble in a one-on-one space to get yourself a good look from three. That's one of the harder things to do on the basketball court. Mm-hmm. But we're seeing Cam Williams do it. He's going to become an issue. If he shoots over 40%, because I think he's going to shoot 5 a game, if not more than that. If he shoots around 40%, in like the 38 to 45 range, anywhere in that range, which I think people would say 45 is crazy, and then go, it's crazy, but
I think he's over 42 this season.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the best part about him being 6'8" with like a 7-foot wingspan.
He just shoots over
you got on him, he'll shoot over you.
Well, that's the video that the Field of 68 put out of like 2 or 3 of those clips in a row. He takes Colin Chandler off the dribble and kind of just steps back and just shoots right over him. Like this, he was just taller and just shot right on over him. So that's going to be a little cheat code when you got Cam Williams at the 3 going against somebody who's not as tall as him. And if he gets any space, it's a shot up and it's going in.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that he is a incredibly special player that we've been on for a while now, and he's getting ready to just do some crazy stuff for this team. I also liked hearing that Coach Pope talked about it. Sounds like we have had multiple guys shooting over 70%. And I don't think that that's in practice. I think that that's in like their shooting drills where they're just shooting, on air. But I mean, we have some knockdown shooters in this basketball team. And we posted a YouTube short and we posted it on all of our social medias. Talking about, and this one was me talking also about how I just am not concerned about the shooting on this basketball team. A lot of people are. I think if you asked a lot of Kentucky fans, their number one concern with this team, it would be the 3-point shooting. But I mean, we've got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball. And I think my argument too, Carson, is, I mean, last year's team shot the ball well. I mean, I thought Lamont Butler had a career year shooting the 3. Well, I mean, I don't think. I mean, that was reality. And yeah, Jackson Robinson was great. Kobe Bryant was obviously the best 3-point shooter in college basketball. But I think this is a deeper team when it comes to 3-point shooting. I think it is. I think Yelovich is a better 3-point shooter than Andrew Carr is.
Well, I was going to say, we have a unicorn alert. Andrei Yelovich shooting 76% on those drills.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually absurd for a 6'11" big man.
That's another, I think, X factor I'll add on top of the low is if he hits his potential in the SEC and in college basketball, that's very scary. Wouldn't like that as
terrifying
a team. Because I mean, players like that, when they hit, they're some of the best players in college basketball.
Yeah, they're draft picks. Those are draft picks.
And I think that he's going to be a hit. I do. I don't think that he's back at Kentucky next year. I've got this feeling. I also love that we now have 2 power forwards that we can situationally use.
The yin and the yang, baby. Got them both.
Because Mo D can score the ball. Mo D can shoot a 3. I mean, heck, I mean, I know it was only on like 45 attempts or whatever,
but
he shot
46%.
50%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mo D is an elite rebounder, defensive player. Yelovich is an elite offensive player, shooter, ball handler, dribbler, right? But he doesn't lack on defense.
Yeah.
And Mo D doesn't lack
on offense.
So that's why, and I mean, I think it's weird to mess with the starting lineup a ton, and I think there's no real reason to do it. But like, I think there'll be some games where you'll see whoever's the starter. And I bet you day one, I'm still leaning Mo D as a starter.
Yeah.
And I think there's a world where he starts every game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of games where Yelovich should play more minutes because there'll be games where we need more offense than we do defense, or days where we need somebody to lock down somebody, and you're going to play a lot of Mo D.
Yeah, and you can play them all situationally. So, like, if you're playing undersized big, you put in Yelovich, he's 6'11", to just shoot right over top of the guy. If you're playing somebody who sits in the paint's physical, can get to the rim, you put in Mo D, say, hey, you're making sure this guy doesn't do that today. So it's the yin and the yang, and it's best of both worlds there.
So I think that the biggest improvement from last year to this year position-wise is power forward. Because we firsthand have seen Mo D love Andrew Carr, man. Love that guy. I mean, this is no disrespect, but we have seen Mo D eat his lunch a handful of times. And love Ainsley Almanor. Fun player, fan favorite. Always was fun when he made a three. But Yelovich, man, to him, I mean, I think that's the biggest. I think that Mo D is 2 or 3 steps better than Carr, and I think that Yelovich is 10 steps better than Almanor.
Yelovich, man, got me feeling nice.
Yeah. Ooh. But I think that's the position where we upgraded most from last season is power forward room. So because it's hard to say like the center, like as good as Quaintance is, Amar Williams was really good. As good as Lamont Butler was, as good as we think Lowe's going to be, Lamont Butler was pretty darn good. As good as Cam Williams and Aberdeen are, Kobe Bryant was really good. Like, I think that the improvements that we're going to see, the biggest one's going to be in that power forward room. And I think it's going to be substantial.
Mm-hmm.
We are in that room. So what else? So Otega's dealing with an injury. Turf toe. Shout out Joe Burrow.
He went to the same doctor.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. But so it sounds like this was, and what I loved hearing is that they said, "Hey, Otega, if there's a game today, you playing?" Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you think Otega's missing a game for turf toe?
Yeah. Nah. Is it? Well, Joe Burrow's missing a game for turf toe for my fantasy team. So, hey, actually, he's going to miss like 12.
See it, McCarthy's.
That's a different fantasy team. But that fantasy team, yes, you will see me at McCarthy's. Unless my only hope is that if I got to find a way to win 2 games before Rashee Rice gets back and saves me and saves my life. Or I trade Rashee Rice. You want Rashee Rice? So we make it on live fantasy.
You know, I think I'm good right now. My receivers are pretty good. So, I think I'll hold on to him for now.
Can I interest you in Rashee Rice? All right, fine. Can I interest you in someone significantly worse than Rashee Rice? How about I think you know what you need for the end of your bench is you need Michael Taylor, the rookie tight end for the Jets, who's projected 5 points.
I think I'd rather pick up Tim Tebow just for a locker room guy.
Locker room guy? All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, but so Otega's injury, 2 more weeks, he's going to sit out, it sounds like. He's been out for 4. I'm not worried about it. If people are saying, well, the practice reps, I don't care. He's been here. He knows what he's doing. I'm not worried about Otega. He's going to be just fine. And he'll be able to practice for a few. Like, if it was an injury where he's, the first game is the first, you know what I mean? Okay, maybe I'm a little more concerned, but he's going to have a month to get right after.
He's fine. If he's already saying he'd play right now, then there's nothing to worry
about. So that was everything I kind of took away from what the Field of 68 had to say. Great episode, so go check that out. All the players, Coach Pope was on there. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Anything else, Carson? You got any recruiting nuggets? I don't think we do. I mean,
no, not really. I was going to add one more thing. I think people are starting to get real excited about Malachi Moreno, and I think for good reason. Yeah. The kid is every bit of, I think, 7'1". I mean, he's a monster. With that hair, he could be 7'2". Who knows? Yeah. But he can do everything around the rim. He has great touch, great footwork. He has good feel for the game, high IQ. I think he's going to be one of those guys where you look back at the end of the season and go, hey, we weren't talking enough about him during the offseason. He's going to be very influential for this team's success.
Well, I mean, he's going to be so important early in the season. And I mean, I wrote an article on the website yesterday talking about Garrison. Obviously, Moreno would be part of that conversation, but until JQ's back on the floor, and there's going to be, like I said, my prediction right now, and this is just a gut thing, and there's no anything behind this, but is for JQ to come back for that North Carolina Central game on December 9th. That's my guess. And if he does, that means he's missing the Louisville game, he's missing the Gonzaga game, he's missing the North Carolina game, and he's missing one more marquee game. And I forget which one it is.
Michigan State.
He's missing those 4 marquee games. He'd be back for Indiana and St. John's. But if he is gone for those games, and we have to win we got to win some of those games. It's going to be Garrison and Moreno. And Moreno and his welcome to college basketball is going to be going against one of the better front courts in college basketball, which is the Purdue Boilermakers in that exhibition game. Purdue's got a damn good front court. They got that Clough kid that transferred and the
TKR or whatever his name is.
That guy. They've got a good front court, man. A really good front court. And that's going to be his, hey, welcome to college basketball, which I think is good. I think it's going to be humbling, but I think it's going to be good for him. And I think that it's going to serve him well when he goes against Louisville in their front court a few, would that be 2-3 weeks later. So Moreno being really good is good for this basketball team because we need him and Garrison. They're going to be the most important players in this team until Quaintance is back because we do not want to lack in our front court, and that's going to be important. So need those 2 guys to step up big time during the first month of the season, basically, especially in those marquee matchups. I'm not worried about what they do against the not good teams. I'm worried about those 4 games that I listed. Those 4 games, they have to play well in those games. So, all right, Carson, you got anything else?
Yeah, I got one more thing. There was big news in baseball last night, so I'm going to leave a stat of the day here at the end.
Okay.
All right, so there have been over 1,000 pitchers in MLB history to make at least 150 career starts. Only one of them was more likely to deliver a scoreless start than he was to suffer a loss. Do you know who that is?
Hunter Green.
No. That is our boy Clayton Kershaw, who just retired last night. So happy retirement, Clayton Kershaw. I know growing up, I think everyone wanted to have a curveball like Clayton Kershaw. So happy retirement to Clayton Kershaw. So that was a big one.
You want to talk about just one of the guys that was just this is the era of baseball.
Yeah.
This is the guy that he was in his prime when we were really starting to watch more pro baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
Oh, man.
Happy he got his ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Clayton Kershaw a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Pitch. And, best wishes for him in retirement. Mm-hmm. I wonder if he's going to get into some kind of commentating or something.
Hopefully.
So, the fun fact, who his high school teammate was? You ever seen this?
Oh, God. Who is it? I feel like I know it, but tell
me.
Know,
it'll make you mad. Matthew Stafford.
You're right. God dang it.
Yeah. They were they were high school teammates, which is pretty cool.
And they look kind of similar to a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of oh man, and I can't remember. There was a story. Who was Devontae Adams? Was it Jock Peterson?
Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson was the wide receiver 1 on that.
Yeah, he was the wide receiver 1. Yeah.
And Adams was the wide receiver 2. That's and now Peterson's a pro baseball player, and Devontae Adams is one of the best receivers in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah. So that's funny. Well, all right. I think that's all we got for you today. Leave down in the comments. I want to hear y'all's thoughts once again about what went down with Coach Pope and Coach Pat Kelsey. Good for the rivalry, bad for the rivalry. What do we think about that? Big news coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Very exciting stuff. Hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already. We would really appreciate that. Hope everyone has a awesome weekend, and we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today Podcast.